and everything else about it. So I'm going to start off with the colour schemes. Seems like a good place to start. You'll have to excuse this. I'm still running a bit behind on the... I've no idea what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to try and... Let's make that larger. There we go. So the comments are there. Right, so you have two schemes. You have an A scheme in camouflage over white. And you have a B scheme, which is white over white. Both of which are incredibly dull. So they don't do bugger all for me. I'd have thought I'd have done something slightly more interesting. I think what puts me off most is having to paint the white on it. And it's just another blue steel aircraft and a standard bomber in white. So it's, yeah, pretty boring schemes. I would have hoped they would have done something like the red flag ones or something. Decal sheets. It's a decal sheet, isn't it? Pale. Yeah. It's a decal sheet. There seems to be lots of stencils. Again, how many of them will be seen? Don't know, but there you go. Instructions though. So there we go. First thing is you get quite interesting cockpit interior. You get steery sticks, it sticks out the dash. You get is that a decal for the? Yes, you get a decal for the instrument panel. You get a centre console, rear bulkhead, 3-piece seats where you get 2 back pieces, and then you get a single piece. Looks like you get a single piece with the seat belts and everything built in. And that goes on to the flight deck where you got another, looks like another decal for the inside, and you get side consoles, and you get like fire extinguisher behind it, and more decals for the sides, and a step ladder leading down to the rear seats behind it, which you also get. So you get the 3 seats behind it for the crew, and that's it. It's pretty pointless, really, when you consider the size of what you can see through the cockpit. And I've just realised that I sound pretty sad when I go pretty. So it's pretty pointless compared to what you can see through the cockpit canopy itself. So I'm just going to paint mine black and just perhaps pick up the seat belts, and that's it, really. There's nothing, no point in doing anything else. Black and a bit of graphite, I think. And that goes into what looks like interestingly, it looks like it goes into a nose cone, which then fits inside the external fuselage. That's an interesting idea, but there we go. So it looks like there's a nose cone within a nose cone, and you put the weight in the internal nose cone. Interesting idea. And then you get a choice of 2 noses to go on there. A standard round nose and one with a pimple and a intake, a pimple and a fueling probe on it. Interesting idea. Small underside bomb aimer's window and door, open or closed position. Standard, really, much like the original kit. Here's where it starts to get interesting. On the original kit, if you remember, the wings just butted to the fuselage with a couple of slots. Well, in this one, you seem to get a whole load of interior for the bomb bay. So you get a actual bomb bay, not just a missile bay. So you've got spars. I'm assuming that's the front one, that's the rear one, and you've got all the bits that go over the top of it to give you a sort of build like that. So you've got a side panels, rear spar, forward spar, and then you've got all the, I'm assuming it's where they hang the bombs from, go over the top, giving you that sort of shape there. And then you've got a further spar that hangs off of that, and then an outside edge to go around it, giving you a sort of triangular shape that I am assuming fits inside the wing. Yeah, yes, you can actually see on the wing there the plans where it actually fits inside the wing. So if that's true, it gives you something to hang the wings off, which is bound to be better than the old version, because I found on the couple that I've actually built, the old ones, they tend to just either split the fuselage if you didn't glue the fuselage really well, or just tend to sag a bit. So that should solve that problem, because you've got the, and then of course you've got undercarriage bays there. That's for the closed version. So you get, again, this is a brilliant idea, you get parts to pop in from the inside of the wings for the doors to be closed. Green bits indicates bits you've got to cut off for the missile version. Interesting. And then you get on to the actual B scheme. Oh, this is for the B scheme. So there's other little bits you've got to trim off and file off. And then you have the insert for the missile on the other side of the wings. Then you get the B scheme with the bomb bays closed. Again, this goes together. So the two wings go together, which means you can then put the closed undercarriage doors in and press and fit them to flush on the underside easily than trying to fit them in from the outside in, if you know what I mean. And then once you've got as far as that, you put the main bomb bay structure, which goes on is the same for every version. You put the bomb bay, the wing spar and bomb bay structure on, which adds rigidity to the wings, because the wings appear to be in two parts outside, joined down the middle. So that would be quite a flexible joint there, because it's only attached to itself, the wings at the very front and at the very back, relying on things like the bomb bay doors to keep it together. So once you put that in, that should make it all rigid. So here's if you don't want to put the doors on. So you just build it without the doors in. So it shows you here, you just build it without the doors in, and it all goes together the same as the other version, without putting bomb doors in. Undercarriage doors, undercarriage bays, yes, there are front ones and rear ones. They all seem boxed, large boxes that fit into the wing before you put the top ones on. Quite a nice idea, like that. Should add some structural rigidity. Now here, this is something that I'm impressed with. I had this problem when I was painting the Victor, which is up there, which is the Airfix Victor. And I had this problem painting the other Vulcan I did, because I did one camouflage, is how to do the demarcation on the inside of the intakes for the camouflage pattern. Well, Airfix actually give you two little templates, which you cut out, and then you put onto the parts, the air intake parts, and then you draw around them to give the demarcation. So after that, you paint white, and forward of that, you paint upper surface camouflage colour. Brilliant idea. I'm looking at it, and it looks like for both bits, top and bottom of the intakes, you paint both the coloured bits inside the intake mouth the same colour as the top side. Good. As you can see, gives you a splitter in the inside, so the top and bottom bits go together, and then there's a splitter in the back, in the middle of the front, and there's the turbine blades at the back. This, however, is genius as far as I'm concerned, and this is what should happen in every kit like this. I'm going to get a pokey stick here, pointy stick, so I can point this to you. Part H08 and H04 are intake blanks. So they are the FOD guards for the engines. Brilliant idea, saves all that messing around with joints and everything. You've just got a small joint at the front you've got to fill and a small joint at the side. None of this messing about with sanding it all smooth and resin bits and that. Just put the blanking plates in. Problem solved. Excellent idea. Section 48 shows you the mounting of the intaking trunks to the wings. 50 and 51 show mounting of lights. And 50 shows you putting together, I'm assuming that's the top wings, yeah, putting together of the top of the wings. So I'm looking at this, I'm just a bit confused here. Oh, I see, right, so because it's a round fuselage, basically a round fuselage, yeah, so you have the top of the wings go to the bottom of the wing, so it's a two-part top wing onto the multi-part bottom wing, and then you have the nose section which goes on to the forward end of that. There, quite simple really when you look at it. Brilliant idea. And then there's the final bit of the intake that goes into there, which again gets through that nasty little seam that you usually get down that side there when you on the old one where you put the top and the bottom of the wing together. Nasty little seam, that bugger do. Now I'm hoping that you might, if that seam goes in there like that, you might get away with the intake blanks going right across there, so you don't actually have any seams at all to sand in there. I'll check that out later when I take the bits out. 57 is tail cone, just goes obviously on the other end of the nose. Engines, gives you the engines. Quite an interesting setup for the engines. There seems to be multiple parts for each outlet. There's a jig as well. They give you an alignment jig, E2, to align the engines square so you have no problem putting them in the fuselage later. So that goes on at stage 60, goes through 61, 62, and then it looks like it's off at part 63, and then 63 is a completed unit that goes into the underside of the wings in 64, and then you've got the exhaust. Oh, so 63 is the main barrel of the engines there, and then 62 is the exhausts and that. So, yeah, interesting idea. Again, there seems to be different types of engine exhaust and different types of barrels. I don't know why. Haven't checked it out yet. Have to look. But it looks like there's two different types of exhaust. 73, 74 are just doing intakes and scoops on the underside, sleds between the engine bays, towel rails, so they go there. Tail. Now, interestingly, it only gives you the round top tail. Now, I seem to recall on the old kit you actually had a rearward warning radar on there. It's a separate part of the top. So does this mean that there's a later version coming out with a rearward facing radar unit on the back? I'll break my teeth in a minute. I'll get that. So something coming up there, or somebody could do something for that, I suppose. 87 through 90, 1994 is all the addition of the control surfaces and such like and so forth, and fairings and that. 97 through to gosh, where are we going? 111 is all the undercarriage doors. One of my pet hates is painting wheels, and there's lots of bloody wheels on this, so there's lots of wheels on this, so it's not going to be groovy for me. I just dislike them intensely doing wheels, but I'll show you. We'll have a look in a minute. More bits of the undercarriage doors. You get retraction jacks, you get colours for it, and again you get more front undercarriage this time, more wheels, undercarriage doors, retraction jacks. Bombs for the bomb bay. Now, from what I can gather, from what I've seen, the bomb mounts on this aircraft are the same bomb mounts as in a Victor. So it's the same configuration, 4 and 3 on top. I'll show you my Victor ones, because I've actually fully armed the Victor. Get it down here. So there's the Victor, so you can see the configuration in there. These bombs were actually 3D printed by my brother Drew, who's probably now broadcasting on the Modelers Broadcasting Network or really interested in Modelling Co at this moment. It's a usual thing for them, but you get the configuration like that. And as you can see on the Victor, there's 2 more sets of bombs. So there's 21,000 pounds of rain on this. So there's 2 different heights of bomb bay on the of bomb rack on this. So there's a tall one, short one sits on top, tall one, short one, tall one. So Airfix. I'll just put the Vulcan Victor back. Tuck that up there. That needs to go away. So you get the idea. Bombs look interesting. Yeah, bombs. Just do them green. Bomb bay doors. Final little panel. Oh, you get choice of air brakes, open or closed. Blue steel missile, boring as hell, boring as hell, boring as hell. And on the last page, you get the final little fiddly bits, glass bits, more intakes or exits, door, crew entry door with the ladders up and down, air brakes, open or close. And the final thing on here is you get the nose probe, and is that a light on there? It doesn't look like it's pointy. It might be a light. So you get the nose probe to fit on there for scheme A. So that's the instructions to get through. So you've seen the instruction now. Let's have a look at what you actually get in the way of plastic. First sprue is the wheels, undercarriage and everything. Now you're going to have to excuse me because I'm going to take them out, show you, then they're going to put them back in the plastic bag so in case anything falls off. So it'll be a bit of a time doing that. First thing I notice is there's some incredibly large moulding lines between parts. So yeah, that was look like they're slightly off. So every wheel needs doing, every thick part like the undercarriage door needs doing. I just loathe doing wheels. This is how it came in the kit. So we got these 3 sprues off the runner here. Now, another sprue here. Is there something off there that I've missed? Is there something there that should be in that space there? Is there something that they've just cut out? Or is it just another sprue, a big mould that they just cut the sprues off? I don't know. But you get the gist. There's something there. Now, there's the important thing I was telling you about. The intake FOD guards. Intake FOD guards. Brilliant idea. Every jet aircraft should have them because I hate jet intakes because they're bloody horrible to do. If you could do that on every kit, I'd love a set for the Victor, but there you go. So I'm just going to slip them back in there so I don't lose any parts. That's going to drop off anyway. So that's going there, and there it goes. Bollocks. So that's the wheels and everything. And other bits. I can go back into the box there. Next bit. Oh, bombs, bomb bay doors, and forward fuselage. There's what I was saying about the cockpit interior. So that's the cockpit interior there. Now you do get a pimple. And you get 2 probes. You get a probe without a pimple, and you get a probe with a pimple. So that's interesting. So there's obviously something else happening. What could that mean? Would that mean a black book? I hope so. Or something interesting at least. A red flag scheme in the green and grey top sides with the brown and midstone underside. That would be pretty. So you've got 2 noses. There's what I was telling you about. See that there part there, which is a sealed unit when you put it together, goes to glues to that bit there, forward bulkhead by the looks of it. So that's a sealed bit there. I'll bring it down so you can see it. So that bit there goes onto that bit. Goes onto that bit to give you a sealed unit to put your nose weight in. Quite nice idea, like that. Bombs, well, those £1,000 bombs look very small compared to the £1,000 bombs that in the Victor. So I'm not sure about them. I might speak to my brother, see if he can do me some more proper size ones, because they look very, very, very small to me. They're not 1,000-pounders. Perhaps they might not be 1,000-pounders anyway. But hey, who knows? I'll have to check out what they carried. But there you go. So there's the forward fuselage, and that bit there on the fuselage, forward fuselage, is the bit that goes into the wing root. So it might be just a locating lug for that. I don't know yet. So that's that bit. Next bit. Ah! This is the... so what we have here, we have the main spar. The main spar for the rear of the wing. We have intermediate spar, forward spar, and the outer edging of the spars, Bombay sides, engine fans. Now I'm not sure. Oh, these might be not quite sure, but they might be the undercarriage bay bits for that bit might be the undercarriage bay. There's that's the blanks for to fit if you want the doors closed there. It's quite a nice detail on there. Spines for the top of the Bombay. Yeah, spine, Bombay door roofing there, and splitter plates for the inside of the interior, inside of the engine bay, which is over here. So those bits there fit onto those bits there, and these are the bits you get the template from. I will have to look to see where the blanking plate, the intake blanks fit, to see if there's anything there. Might be quite interesting, but there you go. And if it does, that saves an awful lot of painting, because I really just can't be doing with painting bloody intakes. Horrible job. You can tell I'm really just a fair weather modeller. So I'm just dropping this back into a plastic bag so I don't lose it. It's these bits of it, so that's going back into the bag. Eventually go back into the bag. Thank you very much. Next bit. Next bit is the flappy bits. Now then, what I was saying about the top of the tailplane. There is actually two. There's a smooth one without rear warning radar, and there's a set there with the rear warning radar. So thank you, Airfix, much appreciated. I was wondering about that, and I need wonder no more, because you do get it. So somebody's thought about that. Tailplane. I must say, I'm looking at the surface detail of this. It's quite fine. It's no trenches. I think they'll show up nicely under a coat of paint, especially the way I slather paint on things. I think that will look quite nice. Won't be too obtrusive. Yeah, intakes. There are lots of little intakes, which actually, when you put them on there, will actually show intakes rather than just solid lumps. Excuse me. I think they were moulded as lumps on the original kit. So that blue steel, yada yada yada. Seen that shit. Everybody's seen that blue steel missile. Yada yada yada. Bin that. Now then. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we have so there's a row of ridges there, so I'm assuming they're vortex generators. So there's a little bumps there, vortex generators. The engraving is, again, people are going to go, oh, it's too deep, it's too deep. It's going to go under a coat of paint. It'll look fine as far as I'm concerned. And as I was wondering about the front of the nose, so the front of one wing is moulded all the way across, and that the second wing sits in on a lip on that. So there's a solid secure mount at the front, and then there's some quite large tabs all the way down that sit into quite large slots on the underside. So I can't see any problem with that. That's probably a good way of doing it, because you can do it out of the kit. I'm assuming on something flush. Yeah, that'll sit flush on something, and you can glue it all together and stabilise it like that. I like that idea. I think you're going to have to put something in there to get the curve right. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to have a look. So that's the top of the wings. Ah, there's the underside of the wings. What's in there? And here on the underside of the wings, you can see what I was pointing at earlier. The marks where the spars and ribs go to add structural strength. Again, a big tab there. Again, as on the other side, it's a solid, it's a nose attached to one side that the other bits glues onto. So it's not a butt joint at the nose of the fuselage there. Really nice. It's a butt joint at the back, but there is a big tab to hold it together. Same with that section there. And I'm going to get another pointy stick. I don't know where I've put my other pointy stick, but pointy stick number 2. These sections here, which you can see here, don't know if you can actually see that. You can online. They're dimpled. There's a row of dimples all the way along there, a row of dimples all the way along, and a row of dimples there, and a row of dimples down there on both sides. That's the bits that you have to cut off if you are doing the missile carrier version. So it gives you quite clear indication of where to cut off. Personally, blue steel's been done to death. It was done in the original kit. It was done in the Victor. It's just, don't do blue steel again. It's a boring thing. Why not give us something with Shrike on it? Or I have a picture of this somewhere of a Vulcan carrying sidewinders. I think it was double mounts on the inside. But hey, you know, sidewinders on it. So it's a pretty big bit of kit. I mean, if I put this back here, you're talking, if you lose that what's that, 2 inches in the middle? Yeah, if you lose 2 inches in the middle, oh, that's spot on 2 inches. If you lose 2 inches in the middle, good to see Imperial being used. You've still got quite a span of model there, you know? And that's even bigger because of the wingtips on that bit. So that's quite a big bit of kit. I'm quite a chuff for that. It looks good fun. And the final bit, which I'm not going to take out, the plastic bag, because I will just mar it and lose it, is the cockpit canopy itself. As you can see, you have a Vulcan cockpit. You have the front panels, which when on the kit actually just sit over the coaming, so there's nothing underneath it but black, and the 2 portholes on the side, which I suppose you could look through to see something, but they are pretty bloody pointless doing the interior, because that's all you've got. 2 tiny little portholes there, and 5 tiny little windows at the front. Pretty pointless thing for an aircraft interior, unless you're going to leave the cockpit as the canopy as removable. So there you go. So I'm going to leave them in the bag and throw them back over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my little inbox review of anything. Once again, I noticed that no comments. I don't care. I do this for me, and it's going out there. Somebody will see this in 100 years' time and go, "Oh, that bloke's a prat," but that's by the by. So, ladies, gentlemen, I'm going to put my head under so you can see me. Yep, that's me. Toodle pip. And if I can finish it, it's gone.